Hi everyone and welcome to DreamSpace TV, here in One Microsoft Place in Dublin. My name is Amanda.
And I'm Corey.
In today's episode we are going to learn about a brand new part of the microbit called radio.
But before we do that, let's look back on our last episode. Because in our last episode, we asked you to create a well-being picker that was able to randomly choose between 4 different activities. We then asked you to improve on that by adding one more activity. So you had a total of 5. So let's review and see what we could have added in. What do you think?
Yeah, here's our one from last time anyway.
Whew,
we had 4 different ones. We had exercise, we had fruit, eat some fruit. What were yours?
Music.
Music.
And reading. And
then we had to add one more. So we've talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah. So I think I've always spotted Amanda colouring.
Love colouring.
So I think that we'll use that one. What do you think?
Yeah.
One thing I do have to change though is now that I'm adding another one, my pick random is going to be between 1 and 5.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly change this here and put this to 5. And then I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to where my plus button is, because remember that allows me to add another condition. So if I press plus here, okay. So I'm just going to bring in, remember this was our read. And read was our 4th option. So what I can do is, I can just bring this up here. And now I need my comparator, don't I?
Yeah.
So I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to go into my logic category. And go down to my comparisons. And I'm going to pop this in here, into the diamond shape. And I'm going to say, else if well-being equals 4, well then I can read. So here we go. Pop this in here, and this is going to change to 4. And now finally we have our else, which is our added activity. So I said that we were going to do colouring for that. So anything you have in mind?
I think just string.
String?
Yeah.
Good old string. So let's go into our basic block and let's bring this out. And I'm going to pop it in my else condition and show string colour.
Perfect.
Woohoo! Okay, that's it. Looks great.
Perfect. So well done on getting that completed. What we want to look at today is a brand new concept within the microbit. And it's going to be really, really fun, I think, Corey.
Yes.
And the concept we're looking at today is called radio. And you might have actually spotted this. A lot of people see it straight away when they look at the different categories on our MakeCode app. And radio is how the microbit can send and receive. So it'll be like my microbit here being able to send a message to Corey's microbit, and her microbit is able to receive it, but then she could also maybe send something back. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes, so cool. That actually reminds you of a walkie-talkie.
It really does, actually.
That's so cool. So now would be a good time at home or in school to pause the episode and write down the steps that you think we take when we're using a walkie-talkie. Okay, Amanda. So the first thing that we need to do is we actually have to set the channel, because we need to make sure that we're on the same channel. So I think with this one here, there's 15 channels. But we'll say, let's both go for number 9.
9. Okay. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're both on the same channel. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So I want to send Amanda's walkie-talkie message. So I'm going to press on this button and then I'm going to talk into it. So I'm going to press the button. Hello, Amanda. Over. Okay. Now, let's take a second and think, what happens next? What does Amanda's walkie-talkie have to do now? Well, Amanda's walkie-talkie actually has to receive that message, and then she can hear it.
Exactly. And that's why actually we have these antennas on top of the walkie-talkies to send and receive messages and signals. Yeah, exactly.
So cool.
So that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today, kind of like with the microbit, except the microbit's antenna is a Bluetooth antenna. So it has this Bluetooth antenna inside that uses the radio function to send and receive. But what we just did there will really, really help us, Corey, won't it?
Yeah.
Plan out how this is going to work. So let's go and make our plan. So we'll leave our MakeCode app for 1 second, and we'll come back to that in a minute. And we will make a plan now for how this works. So, okay, so the first thing you did there, Corey, was?
Set the channel.
Okay, so we need to set the channel.
And we need to make sure that we're both on the same channel.
Set the channel. Why is that so different? There we go. Right, so we set the channel and it has to be the same. Actually, that's a very, very good point. So we'll go in a different color here. So same number?
Yep.
Same number.
Because we said that we were going to be on channel 9.
Okay, perfect. Right, so that's step 1. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I suppose we need to think about when will we get the microbit to do this. So maybe the minute it starts.
Yeah, on start.
So just turns on, channel is set.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might say we're going to do that on start. Okay, perfect. Right, number 2 then was?
Remember, I had to actually push down the button.
Okay.
To talk into it so it could send you the message. So I pushed a button.
So we pushed a button, so that's going to be an input. And then you talked, but obviously we're not going to talk into the microbit, but we can still send things.
Yeah.
And with radio, what you'll see is we have options to send. So we might not say what we're going to send right now.
Yeah.
We'll just say send a message.
Yeah.
So we'll say button, so on button pressed. So on a button pressed, and we can decide that in a second.
Yeah, so we know we have A and B, and A and B.
Yeah. So we are going to send a message. Message might be numbers or strings. We'll see.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then the final step, why we were talking at the end there, was about receiving.
Yeah. So your walkie-talkie had to receive that message.
Yeah. Okay. Receive. And not only receive it, but then I had to hear it.
Yeah.
So that can be a little bit confusing. They're different. So the message actually receiving on a walkie-talkie is one step, and then there's a transfer there for us to hear it.
Exactly.
So it's going to be the same with the microbit, isn't it? So it's going to receive, and we're not going to hear from the microbit, but we might see it displayed.
Exactly.
So we're going to see a display. Okay. So there's a few steps there, but actually they're not too bad. It's just 3, and if we're really kind of careful about them, hopefully it should work.
Yeah.
So we'll go and get coding. And I'm going to hop in, and we'll get rid of what we have here, Corey.
Yep, it's saved.
We have that saved. Okay, and now we literally have a blank canvas. There's nothing else here, and we have to decide what steps we're going to do. So we have all of our steps. So the first thing was we want an on start block to set our radio channel or group. Exactly. So I'm going to go into basic. That's where on start can be found. If you ever delete it, you can always find it back again in the basic channel or category. And we bring that out. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a bit clearer. Okay. And on start, we're going to set the radio channel or group. Now, this is all going to be in the radio category. So I'm going to go into radio. And we can see here we have lots of different options. So we have radio set group, send number, value, string, loads of things. If I go down, there's a little bit more. So I don't see the word channel, but group is what we're going to talk about. So the microbits version of that is called group. So we're going to set our group number. So Corey, any ideas about the group number?
Let's go for 9 since we've been working with that.
Yeah, perfect. Good shout. So I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to delete that one and change that to 9. And that's good. So that means if we're using this together, Corey needs to make sure that her radio group is 9 that she downloads, and I have to do the same for mine. Okay? The next thing we did was we talked about using an input to send something. So that's easy, isn't it?
Yep.
We can go into input. Any thoughts?
Let's just go with on button A.
On button A. Okay. Perfect. So on button A, I think we'll go back into radio and decide what exactly we want to send. So as I said, we have options here. We have numbers, values, or strings. So Corey, I don't know about you, I think we might go with a, will we go with a string?
Go with a string.
So we'll go radio send string, and we're going to pop that in. So basically we're saying when we press A, we need the radio to send the string that's contained in here. And we need to tell it what that's going to be. So I'm going to click in here, and
you could say DreamSpace TV.
DreamSpace TV. Oh,
ooh,
it's disappeared on me.
Keyboard's gone.
DreamSpace
TV.
We're not very original. Okay, so when we press A, the string that's going to be sent is DreamSpace TV. Now, just to point something out at this point, if I press A here, Corey, I see another microbit come in, but nothing is happening right now.
Okay.
So this is my microbit.
Yeah.
And when I'm pressing A, I'm not seeing anything. It is sending the string though. So this is kind of like we talked about before. You have to trust that this code is working in the background of the computer. It's doing what the instructions are. We're not always saying to show us or display something, but it is doing that instruction. Is that okay?
Yep.
And in a minute when we complete out our code, we'll be able to test it here on the screen to make sure radio is working for us.
Okay.
So this is really cool. This is basically mirroring the fact that 2 microbits are communicating. So we have, we'll call this my microbit, and Corey will call you this your microbit, okay? Right, final step. Let's just go back to our plan. So we need to somehow code for the microbit to know what to do when it receives. Okay.
Well, let's hop back into the radio category and see if there's anything in there that can help us.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we've looked at these ones. These are all about, we set the group.
Yeah.
These are about sending. And we can see now we have blocks here that are talking about what we do when we receive something. So really be careful here. We know in DreamSpace lots of students are so keen to get this working and they're in a rush. So sometimes it can be easy to get a bug or an error here. You need to make sure what you're sending matches up to what you're telling it to receive. So Corey, what are we sending?
We're sending a string.
We're sending strings. So therefore, when we read these, we need to make sure it matches. So on radio received string is the correct option here, because we are not sending values and we are not sending numbers. So just make sure it's this one. On radio received string. So I'm going to bring that one in. And basically in here is what we tell the microbit to do when it receives the string.
Okay.
So think about this. What do we want this microbit to do once it receives? Once it lands onto the antenna, the Bluetooth antenna, it needs to know what to do next.
Well, we want to actually see that message, don't we?
Exactly. We want to see it. And this block is so familiar at this stage to us, I'd say. The minute we say it, we wanted to show the string, show string. And that was the basic category. And if we go down, we can see show string, which we're used to doing. Now, hold on one sec. We're going to test it here.
Okay.
I know, and I'm sure people maybe watching know, this isn't right just yet. But if you're not sure why it's not right just yet, I want you to look at the screen and have a little think about this. What's wrong with my code right now? I want to send the string DreamSpace TV. Will we test it?
Test it.
Okay. So I'm going to, when I hit this, remember my Corey's microbit's going to come in. This is my microbit. So I'm going to press A to send the string DreamSpace TV to Corey. And I'm going to hit A again.
What?
Okay, so it's saying hello. So I wanted to press A to send the string DreamSpace TV. But if you think about it and you look at the code, you'll see that we've told the microbit when it receives a string to show the string hello. And it doesn't know to show the string it's received just yet. That's what we need to change.
Okay.
So this is our final step. So well done, you're doing great to stay with us, because this can be a little bit confusing, especially when it's stuff working in the background and we can't actually see it straight away. So we want to say in this area here, when we receive the string, show string, received string. So anything we receive. And this would make sense, because if you think about it, we could send multiple different strings, which we might do in a second. On button B, we might decide to send a different message. And therefore it needs to know how to change or vary. This is a variable. So we're going to grab this one. So you literally just take it out of the area it is there, and we just bring it down instead of hello. We pop that in there. Okay, so we test it again now?
Yes, let's.
Perfect. So I'm going to press A to bring in my other microbit. I want to make sure, hopefully, when I hit A, it's going to send that string and we'll see it here. So I'm going to press A. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
DreamSpace TV.
Amazing.
Excellent. Okay, so how about, just to show that this will actually adapt to whatever it receives, how about we add another input?
Yes, let's. Okay, go into inputs.
Yeah?
And let's do a movement this time. So let's bring it on shake.
Right, cool. I like the idea of changing it up. We won't just do buttons. So we'll try on shake. I'll just put it in here so we still see everything. And what do we want to do this time, Corey, when we shake the microbit?
We want to send a string.
Okay, so back into radio.
Yep.
And we're going to stick with string. Perfect.
And this time what we say, we need to be more creative this time. We're the best.
That's a very complimentary one. We'll just say the best.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The best.
I'm sure everybody in school or homes is so more creative.
So much more creative. I actually completely blanked there.
So
I didn't even know what
I was like,
what do we even send? Right, okay. So that means now we have 2 ways of sending strings. We can press A or we can shake our microbit.
Okay.
And again, hopefully on doing that, it will send that message, that string, and we'll see what it looks like when it receives. We do that? So we're gonna refresh. We're gonna hit A for a sec to bring in our microbit. Now we've tested A.
Yeah.
I know A works, so I don't need to do that one again. So let's try shake this time.
Yeah.
And we should see the best.
Ah, amazing.
Brilliant.
That is so cool.
Okay. So that's strings. Now there were other options, wasn't there, Corey?
Yeah, there was numbers and there was values. But when I think about it, remember a couple of episodes ago we were working with temperature?
Yes, we were.
And temperature is a number. So I'm thinking, could we get the microbit to send temperature?
That's a really interesting point. So you mean in here we'd have radio send number and we could slot temperature in?
Slot temperature into it.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because if you think about it, imagine we had my microbit and your microbit, and your microbit might be in the sitting room, and your microbit then is picking up the temperature. So if the temperature is greater than 20 degrees Celsius, well then it can send a message to this microbit.
Brilliant. That's very cool, actually, isn't it? That's bringing our thermostat or our temperature sensor to a whole new level, isn't it?
Exactly. It's so cool.
Okay. Well, that was lots there. A lot of code, a lot to understand. Really great work to everyone.
Now we want you at home or in school to create your own program using the radio with microbit. Now, you can be as creative as you want, and you can send either strings or even numbers.
And best of luck with that. So thank you so much for watching this episode of DreamSpace TV today. We hope you've enjoyed learning another feature of the microbit, and there's actually tons more. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.